Welcome back, traders. Got some more back testing for you. The grind never stops, but at least we're done with 1 month. We're now in February. Now we don't have to worry about the first week or the first Friday of the month. We're already done with non-farm payroll. I'm going to back test February 5th to the 9th this time around. Let's go ahead and get started, but don't forget to like and subscribe. So real quick on the daily chart, I am going to have a bullish bias, going to look for the high of the week last week. And then we do also have this projection up here that I can aim for, because you can see we went down into this fair value gap and we are now moving away from it. So the bias is going to be bullish. So Monday morning, not seeing much on the 1 hour. So I went down to the 15-minute, got the sell side liquidity right here. Would like to see a sweep of this before going for the highs. We can see that we've already taken out this high and this high pre-market. Okay, so I skipped way ahead to 10 o'clock. 8 o'clock, we got a drop down, taking out this low. And then at 9:30 opening bell, we didn't take out this high, we created equal highs, and then drop down for this low. Now, this low is that low I highlighted back on the 15-minute chart. So this is what I wanted, and now I want to see some sort of shift to the upside. My first target is going to be these relative highs right here, and then these highs up here, and of course the high of the week last week. 1140 price just kept dropping down, but we finally got a fair value gap here to the upside. We went over this swing high for a market structure shift, a change to the state delivery above these down candles, and then we created a second fair value gap. I didn't take the first one. I was just looking for confirmation. We got that here, so I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at this with my entry up here. So I should already be in, and then my stop down here. So according to the risk, I'm only able to take 2 contracts before hitting that 1% risk. Where is it? Yeah, right here. So 2 contracts will give me about 0.9% of the risk. And since the time is getting kind of late, you know, we're getting close to lunchtime, I'm just going to go ahead and aim for these relative highs. Okay, so it's nice to see the market is rallying up, but the time is 12:15. This is pretty much past my window. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and take one off at this closing price. We'll just say it's 17,681. So I'm going to take one contract off here. I'll leave the other one, and I'm going to move my stop up. So I'm looking for 3 fair value or 3 PD arrays. Here's a volume of balance, a fair value gap, and looks like we also have a fair value gap here. So I think I go ahead and put my stop here. So if it does get hit on the last contract, I will be in the profits a little bit. Otherwise, you know, we'll see at the end of the day if we get these highs taken. Okay, so at the end of the day, we did get the highs taken. This happened around 2:45. So remember, this was my first partial right here at 12:15. And then I just moved my stop loss up here, just left it there. And my target was here, and just left it alone to see if either one's going to get hit. This top one got hit, so very, very nice trade today. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it out in the spreadsheet and show you guys how it looks. So here's the trade for today. 2 contract at this entry price. This was the initial risk. Then I took one off. This was 12:15. It was basically a time cutoff. So took one partial here. It was 2-1, pretty nice, and then just moved the stop, left the other one, and it did run for it. So that was more than 4-1. So very, very good trade. Total of 300. I really should have a percentage here, but $300 on the day. Let's go to the next day. So Tuesday morning, 8:15. Still looking for that high of the week last week to get hit. This was marked out for me as my second partial yesterday. But as you can see, overnight, we did create another high. So these relative highs, this is still going to be a partial target. And pre-market, we went down, took out this low by just a little bit. And you can see currently we are rallying. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the action on the 5-minute. But this may be all that we need for the rally up here. Here at 8:30, market has been rallying since we took out that low. And I'm looking at these potentially, relative equal lows. So we got a low, high, lower low. Here's the breaker right here with this fair value gap. I'm gonna wait till 9:30, see if price can drop back down into this inefficiency to give us a chance to go in. It may not do that. We do have a lot of inefficiencies over here, so it could just drop down to maybe like around here or so. But I'm still gonna wait till 9:30 or just kind of, you know, take a look, give it some time, and just to see how the price plays out. Here the action at 9:30, pretty wild. It did wick up, did not take out these highs. This was taken, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of that. These highs, it created relative highs, and now it's dropping back into this inefficiency here. See if it's going to stop here, if it's going to start bouncing from here, or if it could come back down to that inefficiency that I said earlier. So a little bit before 10 o'clock, we went down pretty low. We took out this low once again. So remember on the hourly, it took out this low here and this low. These are still kind of relative equal. It did poke through a little bit, so it may want a little deeper of a run into this fair value gap or into this order block. So just going to give it some time and let me see if we get some kind of a reversal or something. It is 10:45, starting to get kind of a signal on a reversal. We did go down and then went down lower, but then we created this fair value gap, and you can see we're currently in the last 5-minute candle we wicked into it, and we may be creating another fair value gap. I want to see if that develops, and perhaps I could go ahead and take a shot at that for these relative highs. 11:45, so I was waiting and waiting, did not see another fair value gap. Market looks like it wants to create a new low of the day. It is kind of getting close to lunchtime, so it may just want to just let the price play out, and probably a no trade day today. And a day after 5 o'clock, you see that we've dropped down during the lunch hour and pretty much just kind of stay in this lower range, and kind of just slightly went down and up, and we're kind of like right here back at this consolidation area at the end of the day. So no trade today, gonna go ahead and go to the next day. Wednesday, February 7th, 8 o'clock in the morning. Looking at the hourly chart, that relative highs right here still remain intact. Now there are some closer together here, but then on the lows, yesterday we did drop down, did not take out this low, but I'm going to draw this out. We have relative lows here. Market could want to go down there. Now, pre-market, we have been rallying up. I was looking at this fair value gap here. We did use it once as resistance, went down, just slightly down, and now we are trading above it. So this could be used as an inversion fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and draw it out and see if it's going to play a part in today's price action. But here on the 5-minute chart, not too much to look at. We do have relative lows here, but I want to see price remain in the upper half of this 1 hour inverted fair value gap. So if it does come down here, I only wanted to see it trade to this upper half. Don't really want to see it come down here. So I don't want to see these relative lows get taken. And right now it's before 8:30. I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead and see what 8:30 and maybe even the opening bell has to bring. So here we have before the opening bell, price did come up to take that first buy side liquidity. We still got this next level and also the high of the week. Not sure if we're going to get a retracement. It looks like 9:30 we could just stab up into it. Over here there was kind of an opportunity, right? But that's not really the model I'm following. I want to see some sort of a liquidity sweep. Don't really have any of that right here. It didn't even come down into an inefficiency, so like I want to see price come down into this 1 hour. So yeah, anyways, this definitely was tradable, but not really the model. So I was just waiting to see if we get any retracement. May not happen. We may just take these higher targets right now. If that does happen, well, we may not have a trade today either. Okay, 10:15. So at the 9:30 open, price was pulling back down. I was hoping we would come down back into this inverted fair value gap. It did come down and barely took out the sell side below this swing low, and then there was not really an opportunity, but it just jumped up for that high of the week last week. So pretty much done for today. The higher time frame target, it got hit. Now we do also have that projection target way up there, but I think in order for me to try and get in there, I'm gonna have to see some. Well, I guess we could come back if I see confirmation off of this inefficiency here. Maybe I could take a stab into it. I'm thinking we may not get back into this inverted fair value gap anymore. Okay, so this could potentially be a trade. Price did start grinding lower. I'm gonna just take these price levels off. Keep this one in, but just change it to a dotted. Anyways, price did grind lower. You can see like retail price sees this as a bull flag, and this bull flag could actually work. You know, we came back down to this inefficiency. Even I'm gonna draw a line. I don't think we went into that large fair value gap right here. Yeah, it almost got into it, didn't really get into it. I mean, I guess you can count it. But anyways, we did start going back up. This could potentially be a fair value gap. So if you want to take a trade here, I guess you could. Aiming for this high as your first partial. Risk would be down here. So would that even be a one-to-one trade? Going from the high to the low, we see the midpoint is here. So yeah, if this fair value gap remain intact and it comes back down to it, it is at least one-to-one. You can try to take it, but you know, it's 11:55 pretty much. Only got like 20 minutes left for my trading window, so I'm just going to let this pass by. Not going to take it. It's outside my ideal window, but let's see if it works out. So here around 12 o'clock, it did dip down into this fair value gap right here, and we'll see if it takes this out or if it's just going to go back into that inefficiency right here. All right, just went ahead a little bit further, 12:30, and as you can see, it never really worked out going back up there. Instead, we did retrace back into this large inefficiency. So, yep, I mean, good thing I didn't take that trade. It was not really in my time window anyways. So yeah, I think today, no trade today, gonna go to the next day. So Thursday, February 8th, 8:15. Price pretty much went sideways all throughout yesterday. That high I talked about never got taken, but you can see how smooth these highs are. So we could be setting up for another run up higher. Now taking a closer look, now I think these relative lows are not really in play. We have this fair value gap here. I'm going to just keep it here. This may not be in play either, but I do have this fair value gap on the 1 hour. We could come back. Well, we did technically come back to it. It could be a reclaimed fair value gap. I'm going to actually look at the 15-minute just to see if we can get a little bit more insight. Not really much on the 15 minutes. We could come back down and take out this swing low that was in that 1 hour fair value gap. So just going to give it some time and just walk it through. All right, 8:45. We did come back into that 1 hour fair value gap. Remember, this green is the 1 hour fair value gap. And as we did, we also took out these lows pre-market as well. And now we've shot up with a displacement here, have a volume imbalance and a fair value gap. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here. I'm going to have my long entry here at 816-ish. And then my stop loss is going to be here at 791, so about 25 points of risk. So I entered in 2 contracts, but I forgot to talk about my target. Now, probably won't target that high. I think my first partial coming back to it, there is a swing high here. So I think I'll take price off. Is that even going to be 1-to-1? That's the question, you know. Remember, one of the rules is I want my partial to be at least 1-to-1. So if I go up here, you know, it's close enough. We'll go ahead and I don't know if I mentioned I have 2 contracts on, so we'll take one off here. That's going to be 1-to-1, and then I'm looking for the second partial. I think I'll go ahead and put it up here. You know, there are some smooth highs up here as well. Not going to be too greedy. I think, you know, we could take out this high, but just going to play it safe today. Take this one off here and then one off here, and then that'll be it for the day. All right, right after the 9:30 opening bell, you can see that we did get that first partial, and it's time to move my stop to break even. I'm not going to put it right here, but I think what I'm going to do is looking left, I see this fair value gap here. I'm going to put it at the low of this SIBI. So this is going to go ahead and be my break even stop loss here in yellow. And we'll see if we can go ahead and reach out for that second partial. This looks kind of strong, so I do think we could go up higher, but just going to play it safe for today. Okay, quite unfortunate. As you can see, it got really close to target. Now, if this was like a live, if I was watching this live price action, I may just cut it off, just slightly before here. But whatever, back testing, we kept the target here. It did come back down to stop me out. At least I was profitable taking that first partial. So this goes to show you that it is important to take partials because, well, I mean, during choppy days like this, they could come back, take out your stop. Now, I don't think it's going to be done, right? I don't think it's going to take out the slow. It could take out the slow, but I think price is coming back down into this inefficiency around 830. And with all these relative highs up here, I think we may want to drive up higher into these relative highs. But one winning trade on the day, following the model, done for the back testing. But I'm just going to go ahead and see what the morning action looks like still. So here's at 12:30, the morning session. You can see it's very choppy, very little inefficiency, right? A lot of back and forth action, but it did take out those relative highs that I mentioned. We did not come back for that stop loss. So this was just a stop hunt, rebalancing this inefficiency. Most likely this volume imbalance right here on the 5-minute. You can see how the low just barely touched that volume balance and then started going away from it. Looking through the price action, there's no fair value gaps or anything to like enter long or anything, but it did come back up to take that high. This high all the way back here, this was Wednesday's high of the day. So a tough day of trading, but at least we did get profitable. We took off that first partial here, so close to 1-to-1, and with us setting our stop loss at break even, we did get a little bit more. So we ended the day with, well, I guess about a 1-to-1. Technically, with two contracts, it was actually a 0.5-to-1 reward to risk. Looking at the end of the day, after taking out Wednesday's high, we pretty much just chopped around sideways, went down a little bit, and just consolidated at the highs. So let's take a look at what the daily chart looks like before going into Friday the 9th. So here on the daily, you can see that we have been making highs, going away from that fair value gap. Still have that projected target, so we could be aiming for that tomorrow. Friday morning on the 1-hour chart, it's not looking the greatest, honestly, like a lot of sideways action. So, but keep in mind the projected target up here in red, that's what I'm looking for. So Thursday, we took out Wednesday's high, and now pre-market Friday morning, we did take out Thursday's high as well. Created a fair value gap on the 1 hour. We could be coming back into here 8:30 or 9:30, and then I want to see some sort of displacement to the upside. There are some smooth lows here. We could come back down to revisit this. I'm going to take a look at the 15-minute to see if there's any inefficiency worthy of note. Not really, but we do have these lows right here. I'll just mark them out, these relative lows. So we could come back down, like if we just wick through real quick. I don't really want to see a closure below these lows. I just want to see a wick if we get there. But if we just get into this fair value gap, that's good enough for me. They'll take out this swing low, and then I want to look for something to get me long for that projected target. Okay, 8:30, pretty big rally up. It did not really come down to take out any of the sell side that I mentioned. It took out this recent one and created relative lows here. I'll just go ahead and mark it out. Take off the, I think this was Thursday's high or something. Just go and remove that. Okay, so nothing here really to get me into it. Well, we may just go to the projected target at 9:30, but what I want to see is either confirmation on this fair value gap or come down to take out the lows here. We could even come down and take out the swing low down here into the 1 hour fair value gap. But I think right now I'm just going to wait. I'm going to go to a little bit before the 9:30 opening bell. All right, just before the opening bell, we can see that we've rebalanced this inefficiency. It looks like we are going to go for these lows right here. So are we going to get a sweep? Are we going to get a sweep of this low? Or are we going to come back down? But yeah, I want to see sell side get taken here on the short term, create some kind of displacement to the upside or a market structure shift, like if it goes above this high, for example. Yeah, let's just see what 930 has to bring. Okay, first few minutes of 930, we did go down, take out the relative lows here, took out this low down here, and we went back into that 1 hour fair value gap. So yeah, now I'm looking for a displacement to the upside. All right, a little bit before 10 o'clock, you can see that after taking out this low back into that 1 hour fair value gap, no bodies are in it. I love seeing this, just the wicks, and we're getting a pretty nice reaction to the upside. We've closed in this fair value gap, have not gotten a change in the state delivery above this down candle just yet, and right here I'm not seeing any fair value gaps in order for me to get in. Like with this candle here, we could create a fair value gap with our stop at this low, but definitely going to have to wait until we get that formation. I really like seeing this. We do have a fair value gap form, and this formed as we are making a shift in the market structure. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to take an entry here long, have my entry here at the top of that fair value gap with my risk down here. Now, unfortunately, with this risk right here, this is gonna be about 30 points. And as you can see, 2 contract is going to put me over that 1% limit. So I'm only going to be able to take 1 contract on this trade. So only a little bit above 0.5% risk. So rather small going into this first trade, but I mean, it is what it is. Don't have the risk for, you know, 2 contracts. Meaning I'm just going to take my, trade off. If we take out this high, I won't be able to hold up to the projected target. So that could potentially be about 20 points or, I mean, not that much, like 17 points. So yeah, that's all I'm missing out on if it does go up there, but it is what it is. And as you can see, we did take the trade off here, but shortly after it did run up for that projected target. And just as a reminder, okay, so I'm done with the trade today, but I'm gonna go to the daily chart just to show you real quick. I forgot to show you the results of the trade. So you can see here, I took my trade off at that white line for about 1.5 reward to 1 risk. How I got that projected target, remember it was going to be a swing. I measured, I believe, down here up to here. Well, I don't remember anymore. Oh, you know what? I could just do this to show you. So let's see. It was, wow, it was actually from here to here. So it must have been on a weekly. And then see, that's the thing. You want to make sure you label all the drawings on your chart so you can keep track of which time frame it is on. So I bet this was a weekly projection target here, but as you can see, even like, so I guess I got a little lucky because even on the daily here from this swing up to here, you can see it pretty much is at the 50% on this swing down here. So either way, we did get a profitable trade, 3 profitable trades this week. Very, very good week. And all was just sticking with the higher time frame bias. Remember, we said that because we're going away from this fair value gap, we're going to be bullish. First looking for this target, and then we had a projected target, and now we are at all-time highs once again. So anyways, thank you guys for joining me for this back testing session. Come back again next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy seeing this kind of stuff. And next time we are going to be going into the 3rd week of February. So come back for more, and until next time, safe trading.